You can come to DC for the history, but you should probably stay for the movie moments because once you start seeing the monuments as film sets, you'll never look at them the same way again. Welcome to Pop Culture Passport, your ultimate guide to quirky and cool destinations across the US. I'm your host, Beth Scalacci, aka the Roman Yeti, here to help you dive into the world of theme parks, uncover film and TV locations, and explore quirky museums, roadside attractions, and legendary venues that capture the heart and soul of this unique country. So grab your pop culture passport and let's discover destinations that resonate with your interest, not just with what's trending on social media. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back. Last week we discussed when history and Broadway intersect, and today we're heading to our nation's capital to see where history and film intersect. When you think of DC, you probably picture monuments, museums, and think of politics. But if you're like me, you also picture Sam Wilson running along the edge of the reflecting pool, or Spider-Man clinging to the Washington Monument. And that's what makes DC so fun. It's history and a little bit Hollywood all in one place. So today we're going to take a cinematic tour through the monuments that have made their way into everything from epic action movies to heartfelt dramas and political TV shows. Our first stop is the Lincoln Memorial. Looking out over the reflecting pool, the Lincoln Memorial features a massive seated Abraham Lincoln looking out over the National Mall. It's a place that feels solemn and powerful in real life, and filmmakers know it. In Forrest Gump, it's where Forrest reunites with Jenny during a massive protest rally. The shot of him standing in the pool calling out her name has become one of the film's most emotional moments. And in the 1951 sci fi classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still, an alien visitor observes the Lincoln statue, using it to reflect on humanity's capacity for leadership and peace. And in X-Men First Class, the memorial becomes the backdrop for a reflective conversation between Charles Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr, two future leaders of opposing mutant ideologies. The setting adds symbolic weight as they debate the future of their kind, standing in the shadow of a monument to unity and leadership. Now, also, we can't leave out the West Wing, which occasionally used the memorial for introspective moments between characters, and it almost became like a character in itself. Our next stop is the Washington Monument. The towering obelisk is impossible to miss in DC. It's at about 555 feet tall, and it's the centerpiece of the National Mall and the ultimate DC skyline marker. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker scales the monument in a heart-pounding rescue sequence after a school field trip goes a little sideways, let's just say. And it also makes an appearance in National Treasure Book of Secrets and again in Forrest Gump, where it silently watches over the crowd gathered for the anti-war speech. And TV fans might also recognize it from episodes of Scandal, where the monument adds dramatic flair to nighttime scenes in the Capitol. Now, next, let's head to the U.S. Capitol building. With its signature white dome and classical architecture, the Capitol is both a symbol of democracy and in many films, a target, quite honestly. So, in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, a 1939 classic, Jimmy Stewart plays an idealistic senator who delivers an impassioned filibuster on the Senate floor. The Capitol represents hope, even as the political system falters around him. I will leave that with no comment. Fast forward to 1996, when on Independence Day, the building meets a much more explosive fate thanks to a hostile alien invasion. And the Capitol also appears in The American President, a political romance starring Michael Douglas and Annette Bening. And here is the backdrop for love, legacy, and late night Oval Office drama. It's really amazing how this one building can elicit such different emotions in different movie scenes. Now we visit the most famous residence in the country, which again is no stranger to cinematic drama. In Independence Day, it is obliterated in one of the most iconic destruction scenes in movie history. Then in White House Down, it becomes a full-blown action set with firefights, helicopters, and a very stressed out president. But on the other end of the spectrum, in The American President, it takes on again a softer tone. The White House here is more romantic and nuanced, humanizing the office while still feeling presidential. And of course, The West Wing made it feel like home for 7 seasons, full of drama, walk and talks, and moral dilemmas in dimly lit hallways. Next, we head to the Jefferson Memorial, which is sitting peacefully along the tidal basin. And it's a little quieter than some of the other monuments with its domed rotunda and bronze statue of Thomas Jefferson. It just gives this air of calm reflection, making it ideal for some moodier scenes. In Watchmen, which was a dark alternate history superhero film, the memorial adds an eerie stillness to tense moments of contemplation and power plays. In Deep Impact, it's a haunting backdrop as a comet threatens Earth and the nation braces for disaster. And in National Treasure Book of Secrets, the memorial is part of the puzzle, the site of a clue in a fast-paced historical treasure hunt. Now, I know it's not technically a monument, but still, this is an icon in Washington, D.C., the Pentagon. And it's the center of U.S. military operations, and it's a unique shape which makes it instantly recognizable in film. In Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, military leaders inside the Pentagon coordinate global defenses during a robot invasion. In Mission Impossible Fallout, it serves as a key location for high-stakes intelligence and espionage. And in Wonder Woman 1984, the Pentagon appears briefly as Diana navigates the politics and pressures of her dual life. Next up is the National Mall. And let's think of the National Mall as DC's front lawn. It's where everything connects: monuments, museums, memorials, and of course, movies. In Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, the mall becomes a chaotic playground as museum exhibits come to life. And Forrest Gump uses the mall for its emotional centerpiece, that crowd, that speech, that reunion with Jenny. It's one of the most unforgettable movie scenes ever filmed in DC. And I had to talk about my personal favorite. In Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers is seen jogging around the mall, a visual nod to both his superhero stamina and the peaceful symbol of American ideas. I mean, who can forget the iconic line as he passes poor Sam Wilson, "On your left"? Or also, later in that scene, one of my favorite Black Widow quotes of the MCU: "Hey fellas, either one of you know where the Smithsonian is? I'm here to pick up a fossil." Our final stop is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. This long, reflective black granite wall is etched with the names of over 58,000 service members who died in the Vietnam War. It is powerful in its simplicity. In Born on the 4th of July, which follows a Vietnam veteran coming to terms with his experiences, the wall is a place of reckoning and grief. And in Forrest Gump, it's where Forrest mourns his friend Bubba, placing his hand gently on the stone. There's no special effects or dramatic lighting, just real and raw emotion. And that's what makes this site so impactful, both on screen and in person. Now, I know this one really is not a national monument, but if we're going to talk about DC and film, we have to talk about the Exorcist steps. This is tucked away in the Georgetown neighborhood, and these steep stone stairs became iconic thanks to the 1973 movie The Exorcist, one of the most legendary horror films of all time. In the movie's chilling finale, a priest throws himself down these very steps to save a possessed young girl. The scene is so iconic that there's now a plaque at the top of the stairs commemorating their significance. So if you're looking for a spooky detour or just a killer photo op, or you want to get your exercise in, this is your place. Like I said, Washington is packed with history, but it's also packed with stories. Monuments and memorials aren't just places to take selfies. They're powerful settings for the stories we tell about leadership, loss, heroism, and hope. So the next time you visit, bring your inner film buff. Walk the reflecting pool like Forrest on the Lincoln Memorial steps and channel your favorite movie moment. Or if you dare, climb those Exorcist steps. For this week's Yeti's Pop Pick, I have to mention The Studio, which is on Apple TV Plus. This show is filled with stars, and the main stars are Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, and Catherine Hahn as regulars. I mean, just the three of those alone. I can't stop laughing at this show. Seth Rogen is a new studio head, and it has just everything that goes on behind the scenes in the movie business. Um, a workplace comedy, but like a workplace that we're not used to seeing, like behind the scenes and what goes on in the conversations that are made. Um, it's very funny. If you have Apple TV Plus, check it out. I wait for the episode to drop every week. It's so much fun. And with that, we add another stamp to our pop culture passport. I hope that this episode inspires you to get out and explore all that's quirky and cool, even in your own backyard. Follow, download, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Tell a friend and leave a review if you like what we're doing. It really helps the show to grow. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for The Roaming Yeti. Now keep roaming and finding your fun.